All right, we are doing a quick tutorial of building an entire working app, uh, idea inception to ready for people to use, using agentic coding tools. This is not what people often refer to as vibe coding, where you basically just use an app like Lovable or something and give one prompt and there it goes. This is using agentic tools the way that professional software developers are using AI tools as of July 2026 to build software. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get clarity on what we're building. I took a moment and just jotted this down, and I didn't, this is just a typed document. I didn't want to waste time showing you me typing. But the idea is an app that uses natural language to understand what you ate, estimate protein, fat, and carb intake along with total calories. It can ask you clarifying questions if needed to get a better answer, but only one round of those questions. And then it has to do its best, and it'll pick a portion based on weight. You can also input your current weight, height, and age, along with natural language fitness goals like lose weight, gain muscle, better cardio, and it will show you what's left for the day for those categories and make recommendations. And you can tweak those recommendations. Now, this is just a raw, unfiltered PRD in my own voice. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this entire PRD and I'm going to go to whatever AI tool you want to use. I'm going to use ChatGPT for this. And I'm going to say, I am going to build a simple web app. This is my raw PRD. Analyze it for any improvements or design problems you already see in my notes, and rewrite the PRD in a format that will be most usable for Claude code to then build. And I'm going to paste the PRD. I'm going to hit enter. And so, first of all, the AI is not doing the heart of the thinking for me, but it is certainly clarifying and adding detail that is going to make building this easier. And I put this in here intentionally, and I'm glad it caught it. Weight doesn't determine portion size. And so instead, it's going to use standard serving size as a baseline. I think that's a great one. Natural language fitness goal. I didn't anticipate this, but lose weight, good. That's not good enough. So maintain weight, lose weight gradually, gain muscle gradually, improve fitness. Okay, love it. Then the one round clarification rule needs precise behavior. What counts? Okay, so it needs better clarifying questions. That makes sense. So instead of just saying ask anything, it's what counts as, can it do multiple questions? What happens if the user does not know the answer? We should define that a little bit better. It's got a couple of other points here that I see. And now it's going to come here and make a Claude Code ready version, factoring in all of that advice. I could take a minute longer and sort of read through these details a little bit more, but I'm going to trust what's here. And I'm going to copy this and say, we now have a PRD and we're ready. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to design it. And we're going to use Claude Design for this. And so I'm going to come to Claude Design and I'm going to say, create a design for a web app that meets all the requirements of the PRD below. And a PRD is just a product requirement document. It just explains what the product should do. There's lots of different templates and stuff. None of them are that important. It just needs to explain what it should do. So I'm going to hit go. And now the way that Claude Design works is it's going to process for a moment, and then it's going to ask me a couple of questions. And so it's saying, do you want to use a design kit? Oh, it's asking, okay, here we go. What kind of deliverable do you want? Let's say a real prototype. That sounds good. Which screen should I build? Let's see. Daily dashboard, profile, goal set. Yeah, let's do all of them. Let's do the whole thing. What flow matters most to nail? Let's just say that they're all pretty important. Primary form factor. We're going to say desktop first for this, just because I'm demoing this on a desktop. But yeah, responsive to mobile makes sense. So if we do snap it to a smaller view, it'll still look good. Do you want variations to choose from? Sure. Let's actually, you know what? I'm going to just one shot this. We could do a couple of rounds and go back and forth, but for the purposes of this, let's just say, give me one good version and let's go. How should AI clarification feel? Let's say Let's say decide for me. I don't really know. All of those sound good. Sample data to populate the screens. Yeah, let's say full day just to simulate the screens. And then definitely warm and encouraging. And then design system. Oh, this is new. They actually have a couple of different design systems to pick from. Interesting. I don't really know. I'm going to say just like pick a design that is fun but still professional. Sorry, a design system that is fun but still professional. I'm going to say go. And so now this is going to run on its own, and it's probably going to take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to do its work. And a big part of working with agentic tools is you have to sort of let it go and then have a thing ready to go do next. And so I'm going to come over here to my terminal. This is just a terminal. And I am going to open up a new folder. I think I've already created the folder. Let's see, do we see? No, I haven't. Okay, so I'm going to go into this folder and I'm going to make a new folder that says health tracking app. So just an empty folder. And then I'm going to open this up. Health tracking app. That looks good. And now in the terminal, I already have Claude installed. On the website I've shared with you all, Claude is the instructions for installing Claude are already there. I'm just going to type Claude, if I spell it correctly, and Claude loads up. It is important to build a web app with languages that the AI systems have a lot of training data on. There's not one right way to do this, but like a really obscure or really outdated programming language wouldn't be good. And so for a web app, React is by far got the best training data. And then I'm going to use Next.js, which basically is a way of using React that also handles backend data and calls. And then I'm going to use Tailwind for all of my styling. And so I'm going to tell it this. I'm going to say, we are building a web app. Your job is to set up the foundational structure. Use React, Next.js, Tailwind. We will publish to Vercel, which is an app for publishing apps. And the code base will not live in a repo for now. We will deploy directly to Vercel. Create a simple hello world web app that we can build from. Oops. So I'm going to hit enter on this. It's going to now, in this folder, build exactly what I just asked it to build. And so Claude's running here. I've got, let's see, the design is coming along quite nicely. I'm going to hit stop on this video and then load the video up just because I don't want to just sit here and watch AI load for 5 minutes in a video. Okay, fantastic. So you can see here that our app got set up and installed. I typically don't read like line by line everything that happened, but I'm going to kind of just walk through this. So we have React app, Next.js, Tailwind, all of that set up. It clearly put in just like a basic little website. And it tells us that it is going to be ready at localhost 3000, which just is how we can load a web app on our computer if it's not published to the internet yet. So I'm going to open a new terminal. I'm going to just split panel it, and I'm going to run pm dev, which on my computer is how I start a local web app. And that's the default. That's how it would work if you installed this on your computer. And I can see here, there it is on localhost, and I can even click it and it'll take me straight there. And here we are. This is our web app. We now have a real web app up and running, which is pretty cool. We didn't really do anything. I'm going to come back over here and our design is ready. Now, Claude design's awesome. We could go back and forth. I actually don't love the font. But I'm going to leave it as it is for now. We could go back and forth and tweak things, but for the sake of time, I've got my total calories, protein, carbs, and fat. What did I eat? My like history logging here, the recommend my next meal button. I wonder if this does anything when you click it. It just shows you, oh, cool. It even has a little screen of what it would look like. That's nice. Love it. And you have the not quite right, and I can refine. Oh, and that's cool. I didn't even tell it to do this, the I ate this button. That's nice. Okay, great. Now on reports, I can see how I did. This is what I was expecting. Love it. It's not quite what I was expecting, but I actually think this is better than what was in my head. And profile, this is where we can set our all of our information. And it sets our targets and saves our profile. So I'm going to say, hey, this looks great. Let's roll with it. So what I can now do is I can go to share, and I can say, hey, I want to share this with Claude Code. Here we go. So send the Claude Code. And I can copy this prompt. And this is the prompt for the design. Obviously, none of this has real working data. None of this is actually connected to anything yet. This is just the design. But I'm going to come back to Claude Code, and I'm going to say, we are building a health tracking app. And then I'm going to come down and hit enter, and I'm going to say, paste. And now, because the prompt from Claude Design is a couple of lines long, it just like is summarizing it. But everything that we just copied from right here is now pasted in the terminal. And I'm going to hit Shift Enter again. And I'm actually going to come back and grab that PRD. I think it's here. Yeah, here we go. Just so that it has some extra context. For context, here is the PRD of the app. And then I'm going to tell it, your job is to create a plan to build the front end of this web app. We will deal with user interaction and AI integration for the recommendations and stuff, and storage of data after the front end is built. Use the dummy data that is present in the Claude design file for now. Our web app should be a close replica of what Claude design has already made. Be sure to include all pages and features in the design file. And I think that should be good. So I'm going to hit enter. I think it has everything it needs. I'm going to hang out with it for a moment, and I'm going to see if it has any questions. And also make sure that it can access the file. I have a couple of Claude accounts, and sometimes I'm like not logged into the right one. So let me make sure it can read it. It appears to be able to read it. It looks like it's in there doing its thing. And so I'm just going to really keep my eye on this for a second and make sure it doesn't have any questions for us or anything like that. For this video, I am not going to leave anything out. So you're seeing exactly what I'm doing. I haven't done anything that you're not seeing. Okay, it looks like it's up and running. So I'm now going to hit stop on the video again, just because this will probably take 5 or 10 minutes, and there's no point in just like watching Claude do this. Okay, great. Claude Code finished reading the Claude design file in our PRD. And it has, first of all, so it came back just like with a little report, and it said, hey, this is cool. This is a whole prototype. And it kind of explains back to me what it sees, and it lets me know it's already got a design system and fonts and everything. Cool. And then it made a plan, and it made the plan in phases. The things that I want to flag, the designs render vals returns inline styles. I'm going to re-express those as Tailwind classes. So it's just letting me know, hey, I'm going to take basic CSS and make it work for Tailwind, which is a sort of fancy way of doing styles. And it also lets me know the prototype actually persists some data in local storage. It's deliberately dropping it because we're just doing the front end. That's fine. For the purposes of this demo, I'm actually just going to use local storage. It would take an extra 15 minutes to hook up a database. Anytime you are working with a database, use Supabase. It'll look exactly the same as working with local storage, except for it'll work with lots of different users on the internet. I'm just not going to take the time to build a whole Supabase project. And my account all new projects cost money. And so I'm just going to do local storage. So I'm going to say this is great. Now, we've built up a decent amount of context, which basically means there's a bunch of memory in what the AI has already have to keep up with, the Claude design file, the PRD, setting up the whole project. So I'm going to say, I want you to save the entire plan as a self-contained .md, which is just plain text, basically, file that a fresh coding agent can read and fully execute with no additional needed memory or context. So this is something I do a lot. I'm basically, we're starting to not only get expensive in token use, but the more that an AI agent has to keep up with, the harder it has at remembering everything. Just like us, when you've had a long day and you're trying to keep up with a bunch, it's harder to remember everything from that day. And so this is the equivalent of like 8 p.m. you writing a note for yourself about what you need to do the next day so you can wake up fresh and go do it. And so it is very actively writing this. I don't think this will take long, so I'm going to let this run for a second, because what I'm going to do is I'm then going to clear the context. And that basically is like loading up a brand new, fresh coding agent. We'll see how long this takes. Hopefully this moves quickly. It's not only the freshness of the agent, but every time you talk to it, you're basically like having to pass along all of its history in its conversation. And token cost is real. Like tokens can get pretty expensive. Claude Code has a great plan that is $100 a month. And at $100 a month, you don't really run out of context too much unless you're just like really using it hard. There is like a super big pro plan that's $200 a month. And I typically have 5 to 10 agents running all day, every day, at least 12 hours a day, sometimes more. And I don't hit my $200 a month limits. So, that's expensive, but it is also like an accessible amount. And if you compare the cost against the time you save, as a professional software developer, I have the equivalent of 5 to 10 like high quality mid-level software developers working for me 12 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's a lot less than what it would cost to pay that many people to do that. Okay, so we're getting close. I'm going to go ahead. So this is a cool trick. You can go ahead and give the next instruction, even though it's not done. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh no, I have to clear the context, so I can't. So it has created the plan. And in this, I use a terminal tool called Warp. It's free. You can see the files. So I'm going to open this up and like, here's my whole project, right? If we were coding the old fashioned way, you would actually be just like editing these files. And you can see it made a .plan MD. And so it looks like I have agents, Claude, README. Maybe it hasn't actually saved it. It made a docs folder too. There it is. There's the prd.md. And then, yeah, it looks like it just hasn't. That's the whole design reference. It just hasn't actually saved the plan MD file. But as soon as it does, it'll show up here. And so at any time, for those of you that know how to code, you can, pop open your files and take a look at all your source code. Here's our basic layout and page file. Of course, a bigger project, gets a lot more extensive. But the reality is I have this closed 99% of the time because you don't have to look at this very much, which is the beauty of doing it this way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit stop on this video. This plan's taking a little bit longer than I planned. As soon as the plan is done, I will come back and we'll walk through the next steps. Okay, so the plan has been built. Now, we can see that the plan is in plan MD, and here it is now. We are not going to have this agent build the plan like we were talking about. This particular instance of Claude is got a pretty full context at this point. So I'm going to type /clear, and that's going to clear the context. This is a fresh agent that has no idea what's happened so far. So I'm going to say, in the root of this project, there is a file called plan.md. Your job is to read it and then execute it until it is 100% complete and correct. Use a red-green testing, we'll just say TDD, test-driven development approach to ensure code accuracy. If there are questions or uncertainty, please you go with the option that is the highest quality, best code practice. This will be a production app. Now, a lot of what I just wrote there, the red-green test development, if there's something uncertain, go with the best option. Don't do Band-Aids. This will be a production app. There's actually a file that you can see has already been written here called Claude MD. And this is like the instructions that all Claude agents get. We haven't really customized ours yet, so I'm having to put extra information into my prompt. Normally, I would just make that live in my Claude MD file. So I'm going to hit enter now. I am on auto mode, which I highly recommend always being on. That means it just like goes. It doesn't stop and ask you a bunch of questions. Sometimes right at first in auto mode, it'll still like stop and ask you a question. So I'm going to watch this just for a minute. It's reading the file. It now knows what's going on. It's reading two files. So I'm guessing it's also reading like the README or something. It's checking the documentation for Next.js just to make sure it knows how the project is set up. And I think we're going to be okay here. I don't think it's going to come in. Yeah, okay, here we go. Now we're actually like reading the code files. So we're in good shape. So I'm going to stop the video. And like I said, I'm not doing anything that you're not seeing. So as soon as this agent is done, I'll be back. Okay, we are done building the plan. It says that the entire plan was successful. It does say 4 things worth your attention. The safety clamps don't quite match what was in the plan. And so they had to change the floor, which just has to do with like how the calories are calculated. So depending on how serious we were getting about exactly how the sort of food math works, we may investigate this more. I'm going to let it be. The store is an external store, not use state. That's fine. From a coding perspective, that doesn't change the way that the product works. Snapshots caught a bug test couldn't. The unit input item grid was rendering 14 pixels, so it just found a CSS issue and adjusted it from what was in the plan. And the small A11Y upgrades over the prototype. So it made a couple of changes from an accessibility standpoint. All sounds great. Thanks for letting me know, Claude. Okay, let's take a look. So this is still live and should still be up and running, unless it's closed down. Let me see if it's closed down. Nope. Oh no, this is the website that I'm building for you all to see this. That's sort of meta. So let me, that's closed. Okay, let me pull this back up, pm dev. Oh, it must still be on another port. Okay, so it just opened up in a new port. No big deal. Here we are. All right, so let's see what we build. Oh my goodness, this looks fantastic. This is exactly what the prototype looked like. This is a real app. We're up and running. This is a functioning real app. We just now need to get some of the logic working behind it, which is great. So I have the dashboard. I have the recommend my next meal. Yep, that all looks fantastic. The today's meals look good. The reports look fantastic. Now, this is all dummy data. And then we have the profile. Okay, wonderful. Now, we're going to do some magic. The first thing that we're going to do is, you know what? We're going to build out different work trees, but we should get it committed to Git. So I'm going to say we need to initialize Git so we can commit our changes and create work trees. So I'm going to let it take care of that for me. That way I don't have to keep memorizing 800 different Git commands, which I greatly appreciate not having to deal with. A work tree is basically a copy of the entire project, and it allows you to run multiple Claude code instances without them stepping on each other's toes. Just as if 3 different developers in 3 different houses all pulled the repo and worked on it, and then you just have to make sure there's no conflicts when you merge. We're doing the exact same thing here. So it is staging, it's committing, it's probably just making sure everything's committed. We'll just give it a second here. And as soon as it's done, we're going to create a couple of different work trees. and then we'll open each work tree up in a different terminal. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start typing the instructions, even though it's not done, because it's very close. I'm going to say, we need to create 3 different work trees. One for wiring up the AI integration, because we need AI to be able to, make food recommendations and calculate calories and all that sort of stuff. One, what's the next one? One for the logic behind the goals and data from the profile dash logic, we can call it. And then one for the main page data storage. We'll call it app data storage. For each work tree, be sure to run pnpm install so the project will work locally. And we hit enter. And all that the pnpm install means is the different libraries and packages that help make the project work are all working for each work tree. When we clone them, it's not automatically set up to work. Okay, so it's going to check and make sure that it can do it, which it will be able to. It's just being cautious. And I probably don't even have to hit stop because the folder should actually get created pretty quickly. Oh, it has a real fork. The repo has a package lock, but not a PNP lock. How should I install in the 3 work trees? And it's going to make a recommendation. 99% of the time, the recommendation is good. In this case, it definitely is. So I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to get going. And I'm going to go ahead and pop open my Finder window. And very quickly, oh, you know what? I didn't tell it where to make the work tree. It might, oh no, there's an error. Oops. It might make the work tree in here, although sometimes it will create a Claude folder and make the work trees in there if you're not specific, which was my fault. No, let's find out where is it creating these. Maybe it just hasn't done it yet. It's fine that our local development stopped working because we just changed how it's running because we're making these work trees. Okay, so it's just setting up the logic to be able to be duplicated easily. That's fine. And we're just waiting. It should come up any second now. I don't see it creating a Claude folder, which means it should be creating the folder in the parent folder. Oh, it still hasn't started copying it yet. Okay, this is some boring initialization stuff, so I'm going to hit stop and save you all the time of watching me sit. Oh, here we go. Now the 3 work trees. It says all 3 created off the same commit. And it looks like it's doing it in the parent folder. So let's go check. Hey, look at this. Lovely. Okay, so AI integration. So what we're going to do now is from our terminal, we're going to open up a new terminal, and we're going to open up one for AI integration. And I'm going to rename this terminal AI integration. And we're going to open up a second terminal called data storage, and a third for profile logic. We'll rename the data storage, and we'll rename the profile logic, rename profile logic. And then I'm going to type Claude, and then I'm going to come here and type Claude, and I'm going to come here and type Claude. And now we have our parent Claude that just finished up with all of the work trees. And then we have 3 new Claude agents. So we now have 3 different software developers all working for us in their own repos. How cool is that? Profile logic. I'm going to get this agent going. I'm going to start by saying, read how the current profile page is structured, and then create a plan to replace any dummy data and make the calculations function work to determine the right goals for fats, carbs, and protein, and to calculate the total calories needed for a person. We are using local storage, so create a local storage database solution that will allow the user data to persist refresh. It should save their raw data and any calculated data needed for the app to work. And then, as I just said, create a plan. So we're going to set that one off running. And now for data storage, all the entry data from the main page on the app for what the user said they ate, the calculated food values, and any other data from the main app page, not the profile, needs to be saved in local storage. We are not connecting to Supabase. Another agent is already working on the profile in a different work tree. Your job is to create a plan for that data storage. So we're going to get you going making a plan. And then lastly, I have an API key. You can copy it if you want. It'll be expired by the time you see this. And we are going to say, first of all, this is one time that you really do need to go into the code because your API keys are secret. And like if this is production, you would need to be able to do this. So we're going to come over here and, I need to remember how to make a new file. There we go. .env.local. This is where you store like API keys and stuff. And so we're just going to say Anthropic API key equals blah, and then hit save. You don't want to paste that in the Claude because it saves it in the chat history. And now your API key is like saved in chat history, which is less than ideal. Okay, AI integration. There is an Anthropic API key in the .env.local. Your job is to find all places where the app needs to use AI API and wire up the API key and API calls. So all AI integration parts of the app work. And that one, I didn't even tell it to make a plan because it's like super easy. It literally just like plugs the API in and is done. So I'm going to let that one just go ahead and run. So this one, it built a plan. This is a really simple plan. So I'm not going to start a fresh new agent because the context isn't really maxed out yet. So I'm going to say yes, build it now using red, green test-driven development to ensure 100% completion and correctness. And I'm going to go ahead and just hit copy on this because I have a feeling I'm going to be saying the exact same thing to the next agent. It's almost done. It's talking to me. There we go. I'm going to say yes. And then the AI integration should already be running. So all of these are going to take 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to hit stop again, let these run. I won't touch a thing. You will see exactly how things are once everybody's done. Okay, we are done. The AI integration work tree agent is done. The data storage work tree agent is done. And the profile logic work tree agent is done. Now, just like if you had junior developers working for you, you're now going to say commit all changes and submit a Actually, I'm not even going to go through a PR because we don't have a remote repository. I'm just going to say commit all changes and merge them into local main. And then I'm going to say commit all changes and merge them into local main. I'm going to give this one a second just so we're not literally merging at the same time. And there may be a merge conflict or two, but that is also something Claude Code is going to be perfectly good at fixing. There we go. Next one. And then here I will say commit all changes and merge them into main. That one is done. So we can close out this work tree now. And merge is blocked. Okay, so the profile agent is done working in it. I'm going to go ahead and say, oh yeah, it figured it out. Okay, good. It's just being careful. While it's being careful, which is a good thing for it to be, it's important to also understand we just had 3 different agents working in parallel. If we were to try and imagine how long it would take people to like have hand coded everything we've built, the total amount of like work time here for the agents is maybe 2 hours. For me, if I hadn't been doing this video, it would have been maybe 15 minutes worth of work. When you know, again, compare that to if you had to have developers working on this, and especially, you know, in the company, you might have mid or junior developers working in this. This would have taken a lot longer. And I can guarantee you this has like less bugs and issues than, you know, a mid or junior developer would have had. Okay, so we're going to say reconcile properly and merge. And you can see it's just going through. And this is good because both work trees did some work with local storage. And so it's being really careful to make sure that it all fits. And local storage just means like I'm using my computer for a hard drive instead of a remote server. Okay. This is going to run for a minute. It's going to merge the conflicts. Then I'm just going to hit enter on this. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video just because there's not really a lot to see here. And once all 3 are done resolving the merge conflicts, we'll come back. Okay, we are approaching the end. The data storage finished merging and the AI integration finished merging. So we're going to come back to our sort of main project here. And I'm going to get rid of the scary red. And we're going to say, check out main. And then verify all the changes from the 3 work trees created, got committed, and merged into main. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure that nothing got dropped. And once we are done with this confirmation, then we'll know that all of the work that all of our parallel agents did successfully made it in, and we can delete them all. And we will now have what should be a final product. And we will go test it out. And most certainly there will be things that are broken and that we need to fix. But first of all, as is with any code, so nothing new there, but it gives us a chance to now go test out our app and see how it works. So let's see. All 3 branches are on main, but merged. Exist, content survive, battery result merged. It's on one side. Okay, so it's like picking up that maybe there's something a little bit fishy here. This is why we do this. Profile logic has stage change. Okay, little bumpy. The way, and I should name. So GitHub, which is kind of like helping us with this, is basically like a language that helps you keep up with all your changes. And in a normal setting, if I had taken a little bit more time, we would have set up a remote repository. And then each work tree, we would have submitted what's called a pull request. And the pull request is a little bit more formal way for multiple developers. They just all happen to be AI in this case to keep up with their changes and merge them. So I took sort of a slightly less than traditional route to do this. And so Claude's now just working real hard to make sure that nothing went wrong. Okay, so it did find a problem. This is great. I'm glad we did this. This is the whole reason we do this. Um, so let's see what it says here. Uh, the problem: the profile order work tree is on main. That's on branch. They stage uncommitted diff of some lines of code that remove all four routes, and then rewrites them. Okay, so I'm going to ask. I kind of get what this is saying, but I'm actually going to just pause and say, my goal is to make sure all the work on those three work trees make it onto main. Is what's left a byproduct of merge conflicts, or is there meaningful work left on those branches? And if so, you make sure they are merged into main. So local main is clean, working, and represents all work done on those work trees. And so I'm basically just saying, like, hey, you figure it out, decide if this was meaningful work or not. Could have just been like a couple of lines of code that got changed because maybe some overlapping work kind of bumped. And then get everything clean on main. And this is great. Like, I'm glad that there is a problem because it illustrates like exactly how to approach these types of problems. Okay, so Claude says, good question. Thanks, Claude. little dopamine hit of self-esteem. So now it's running the check. And you know what? While it's doing this, let's just go ahead and fire up the local dev server. And let's just see what's happening here. So, phew, let's see. Okay, well, that's not good. Okay, so there's definitely at least an issue. So Next.js gives you this really nice feature where you can just like copy the bugs. So I'm going to copy this. And now this is obviously just a byproduct of the merge coming in. And so I'm going to let it finish what it's doing right now. I'm not going to throw too much at it. We're sort of getting everything on main like reconciled. Okay, definitive answer to byproduct not work. The stage index, blah, blah, blah. Everything is in place when it was on main. Each subject, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Now I'm going to say, I just got this error. Fix this error and do some basic lint checks to make sure there are no other bugs. Okay. A lint check is basically just like code quality check. And a lot of times it will help catch any bugs. And so Claude's going to go, okay, cool. Build tree's clean, but there's still a bug. Oh, Claude's saying like it might be just because it was working. So I'm going to hit Control C and then try it again. And let's see. Oh my goodness, Claude was right. Everything is fine. Okay, lovely. Oh, cool. So Claude made a judgment for us. It made a judgment that it shouldn't even try and show you the dashboard until your profile is set up because the dashboard's based on your profile. Brilliant. Okay, so let's come over here. Let's set up our profile. Oh, it crashed. Okay, good. We now know information. We got a server error. And it's worth noting that that server error, it may have been that Claude was like doing stuff while it happened though. Goodness, there's a lot of errors. Okay. Yeah, Claude's trying to clean stuff up while we're doing stuff. We're gonna kill this local server. Oh, it already is killed. Okay, we're gonna let Claude do this thing because Claude's basically trying to fix something that wasn't broken, but while it's trying to fix it, it's now breaking the new thing that's there. Errors fixed, all 5 routes. Hooray! Okay, so Claude should give us the green light any minute now. It's just checking. There it goes. Okay, great. So now pnpm dev, we'll respin it up and come back here. We're not live yet. The port's already in use. We're having a port issue that I should have cleaned up. Let's just kill it. And then pnpm dev again. Hopefully this time it'll work. Fabulous. And now, beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so I am going to make up some information in here. So we're going to say 35 male, and we're going to say 200 pounds, and we're going to say 5'10", and we're going to say some light activity, no dietary restrictions. I'm going to lose a little bit of weight gradually. Not in a rush, but I'd like to sort of move in that direction. Oh, let's check out your goal. Let's see how this works. This is its first wired up thing. I'm going to say lose weight quickly and see what happens. Oh no, the AI response could not be read. That either means a formatting issue or an API key issue. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to right click and inspect. And I'm going to see if I got an error here. So anything that starts with a 5 means it was on the server. So the logs here aren't going to help us. The logs here should help us though. Look at that. API key is not set. Oh, the API key never made it over. It was in the API integration, but you don't ever store API keys in Git history, and so it never made it over to main. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to make a new file called .env.local, and paste, and hit save. And this time it should work. Oh, look at that. It's doing its AI thing. Oh, it's still getting stuck. This is why we do this. But I'm not getting any logs. We just got a log there. Interpreted goal. Oh, interesting. So I don't really know if this worked the way it's supposed to or not. This is like a cool part of AI. Is like, this still says lose weight gradually, but it interpreted goal, correct if needed. That's not correct. So interesting. I'm gonna hit it one more time and see if I see any other UI change or if like I missed something when I switched over. Yeah, no. Okay. So now this is great. We can copy this and say like, hey, I put lose weight quickly and it finished its loading state, but it never updated the correct goal. And there's no logs here that are useful. So I typed lose weight quickly, but, and it seems to have processed correctly, but never put in my custom goal. And then you can paste images in here. So I just took a screenshot and now I can paste an image in the Claude code. And let's see, Claude may come back and be like, it's working how I thought it should work. And then we get to put our product hat on and go, that wasn't a very good experience. Why is lose weight gradually still selected? Or it could come back and be like, whoops, we just need to update the UI, or there could be a totally different issue. And so we're now going to come here and find out. Okay, there are no actual two separate things. There's one real bug. The other one's deliberately badly communicated. Yeah, so there is a real bug and bad communication. The bug is the goal text never gets updated on the UI, and the communication, I'm sure, is something related to that. Oh, so the words next to the radio button are thrown away, and the radio button is unclear. Love it. Oh, and look at this. Let me write the failing test first. So even though we didn't say do test-driven development, which means write the test first, it's picked up that that's how we want to work because that's how we asked it to work earlier, and now it's doing it again. Gosh, this is great. It's just like learning best practices just from how you asked it in the first place. Okay, so it found the problem. It's working on fixing the problem. And now, again, we don't really need to sit here and go line by line at the code. Not super important. Okie dokie. Let's see what we got here. Oh, and it cleared out my form too. I wish it hadn't done that, but that's just how it's building. Okay, it looks like it's finishing up. And I'll also name like the fact that we have it write the test first makes the process take a little longer, but the net amount of time is definitely faster just because the tests keep it from breaking in the future. Okay, I think it's saying it should be fixed. Let's hit refresh and see. Lose weight quickly. Interpret. Okay, it's still saying lose weight gradually. Um, so I'm going to tell it, hey, I just tried lose weight quickly again, and I didn't see a change. And now this is going to be a cool trick. Okay, so I'm going to say, I tried lose weight quickly again, and it still did not create a custom goal. Investigate why, and put proper logging in place to catch why it's still broken. Uh, oh, this is a feature goal. It's saying, no, 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 no. Tell us your goals and we'll find the closest one to match it. Oh, interesting. So this is actually a product problem, not a bug. Quickly equals gradually. Okay, so this is saying, hey, there actually isn't ability to set a custom goal. You just tell us in your own words and we'll pick the goal for you. That's sort of a silly feature, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to say, like, okay, sure. So what do we say? 35, male, 200 pounds, 5'10", yeah, moderate, sure. And here we go. So this tells us calorie, protein, all of this good jazz. And we're going to hit create profile. Oh my gosh, the whole dashboard's working. This is beautiful. Okay, so now let's put a meal in. So what I had some tuna poke. Let's see what it does with this. That is what I had for lunch today. Okay, cool. So now it clarifies a few things. Regular size bowl. Oh, love it. Rice and any high calorie additions. I did put spicy mayo. Okay, estimate now. And I love the skip and use standard if you don't know the answers. This is really cool. Oh my goodness, look at this. All right, let's do it. Okay, so I got 38 out of 163, 23%. I was about to say we should have percents. Carbs and fat all in. Yeah, the spicy mayo and tuna had a lot of fat in it. Okay, and yeah, it was my lunch. Look at that. Thanks. Okay, so what should I eat next? Let's see how this works. Grilled chicken and rice powder bowl. Okay, cool. Love it. I'm going to say I have some lamb and let's say some lamb and fresh veggies that I want to cook. I can use rice or bread. And let's refine it. Let's see what it comes up with. Lamb and roasted veggie rice plate. Sure, we could certainly take some time and like get more creative here, but like this is great. Some clove of garlic, squeeze a lemon. That sounds good. And it's aligned to my fitness goals. I love it. And then I can go to reports and I can see how I did that day and I can edit my profile. And oh my gosh, the entire thing works. And we built an entire working app in like 3 hours of Claude work time. And this would have taken 30 minutes of Ryan's brain time. Um, Welcome to Agentic software development.